They were number one on the radio for 5 years in a row.
I've listened to Tiny and Katie since way back.
Now, they're the number one podcast at WAYZ.com.
I love the Tiny and Katie Show.
It's the Tiny and Katie Show.
Hey, I'm Tiny.
I love right now how you're counting me in when I can full blown see a countdown on my screen.
I do that on
purpose.
purpose.
It's at 6, 5. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I thought I was so stupid. I can't see the numbers in front of me and count them down.
Here's what happens is there's literally it'll say 5, 4, 3, and as it's doing it, I'll go 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, but I can see it on my screen.
Right, but the reason I do it is because when we get to 1, I always make a particular hand gesture to you.
I never noticed.
Oh my God.
I never noticed that.
Come on, really? You've never noticed?
I'm telling you, this is our 13th episode, and every time I'm like, God, Tiny must think I'm an idiot. Like, I can't see these numbers on my screen that are counting us down, so I don't even pay attention to you because I see the numbers on my screen.
Now
I've never paid attention to them.
Now I can't do it anymore because you know what not that you don't know what I'm doing, but you've outed it.
It doesn't surprise me.
It's not fun anymore.
No, well, good. Maybe it'll stop because I can see the numbers on my screen. But hey, it's Katie. I hope you're having a wonderful week.
Yeah, I hope you
Welcome back to episode 13.
I hope you had a great one. I promise you that unless she plans to do something that I don't know about, Katie is not going to sing this episode.
I'm not, but I do have to send out a quick apology because you were giving me a lot of crap last week because you're like, yeah, Katie, you got your hair done at Roots, which, big shout out to Roots Hair Design in Marion, and they do a great job. And you're like, but every time we podcast, your hair is up, you're in a sweatshirt, and that's normally because I'm coming from the gym or I've gone for a run. So I said next episode, my hair is going to be done, my makeup's going to be done, I'm going to be in a ball gown.
Hang on, let me throw a timeout real quick? Just real quick.
Of course.
In the video last week, I messed up one thing. I got to the very end. I had everything completely edited down, and I forgot to put the quote-unquote subtitles. Remember when you were saying about, like you just said, I'm going to get dressed up, I'm going to look like a smoke bomb, blah, blah, blah. And I said, there'll be subtitles there. Here's what the subtitles were going to say.
Okay.
She's either going to forget or she's going to do the bare minimum. Now,
this is the bare minimum, folks. This is the bare minimum.
Not to mention, so she didn't just say that last week. Just about an hour ago, we were setting up the time to record. And she said, what time can we record? And I said the time. And she said, that's perfect. I said, why is that? She goes, because it gives me time to get all dolled up, get dressed up, and look like a smoke bomb.
Get my swag on.
And here we are.
This is what you get, folks.
Yeah.
Yep. I will say this. I did bust out my straightener and I straightened my hair.
Wow.
And I got out my makeup kit and I thought, no, I just don't have it in me.
It's 6:00 in the evening. I'm going to be in bed in 45 minutes. Why bother?
Exactly. I'm giving it the best. Listen, what really matters is my charming personality and hilarious nature.
Yes.
Who cares about the way I look,
and that
right?
we're here. As you would say now, apparently, we're here for it.
We're here for it. I love that you pointed out that. So that is my new jam. You know how I told you episode 1, I get stuck on these phrases and they like smoke bomb, whilst, via, 100%. That's a new one of mine. 100% is I'm here for it. I'm here for it. A friend of mine just pointed that out recently, saying like, you always are saying you're here for it. Let me know when you're not here for it.
And funny because right as I was hitting record here for us, you said it again, and I said, "Is that your new thing to say?"
Yes.
You're like,
yes, funny thing.
It's funny. My friend said that this weekend, and I was like,
yes.
"Yeah, it's because you say it all the time." I think you must have said it 4 times last episode.
I know. I heard it. I was listening, and I thought, "Man, I am here for it."
I should play George Strait.
Up.
I'm here for a good time. So
what's going on, Tiny? How are you? You look so good today.
Thank you.
Hey, wait a second. Before we chime into anything else, tell me, because I don't know anything about this. You taught a spin class?
Yeah, that's what I was going to lead with here. So this all came together insanely quickly. Back in November, a friend of mine who I've known since high school, he messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm going to go to spin at WBO Fitness, which is the former Gold's Gym in Waynesboro." He said, "I go there every Monday. It's Monday and Thursday. Would you want to come along?" So he finally, not beat me down, but finally caught me on a night where I had time. So I joined him and I fell in love with it. And then a few weeks later, Mary started going with me. So we, with very few exceptions, every Monday and Thursday, we're there doing spin class. And I will be the first to admit that Peloton is the big popular thing that everybody does.
I was just going to ask you if you thought about getting a Peloton, but continue.
No, maybe now, but no. Here's why is because I love that so much, and the rest of my week has pretty much a workout attached to it, so I don't really know with what time I would even do that. But nonetheless, so we go twice a week, absolutely love it. And one of the instructors on Thursday night was saying to me a few weeks ago that the owner had been talking about adding some morning classes. And I said, well, I would be here for that. Believe me.
There he is. There he is. Love it.
I love getting my workout done first thing in the morning. And I would love to add that on a day that I don't have my strength camp, my CrossFit type workout. So she said, well, just, let the owner know that you'd like to have it, and he'll see what he can do. So then I said to her, I'm like, well, heck, I'd be happy to just come in here and do it myself. Not necessarily thinking teach it myself.
Right.
But just come in and do it. And then if people wanted to join in, kind of like a club almost.
I get it.
Long and short of that is I am now certified and insured to teach spin. And look out, kids. And here we go. Unbelievable. This week, as we're recording this, last night I filled in because once the one instructor found out that I was certified, she's like, hey, I'm going to be off next week. So literally the week I got certified, which was rewind a week ago, I got certified and insured. When I no sooner told her that, than she said, hey, that works out perfectly. Do you want to fill in for me on this coming Monday? Because if you can't, then I got to cancel the class. So what am I going to say? I want to do the workout too.
Can I ask you a couple of questions about this? And not that I have any real experience, but my mother is an aerobic instructor. And so I do know a little bit about teaching classes. Are you nervous being not as... Are you an experienced spinner? I would say the answer is no. Does it make you nervous to tell other people how to spin or bike or whatever if you're not like super experienced in the field?
No, and I'll tell you why. Is that all of us that go to the class, we know what to do, and we've done the movements. The issue that I think that we run into is, like, at least with me, I don't mind doing the movements. I love it, but I need someone to tell me what to do.
Right. Listen, I always need someone to tell me what to do.
Here's what it amounts to. I would compare it to, say, dancing, right? Okay, I want to dance. I know what the moves are, but I need you to choreograph it for me. And I think that's what it amounts to, is I'm basically setting the choreography that we have to do to the music that I choose. And that's the fun part about it too, is given, what I do and what you've done is getting to put together the list of music to fill out a certain amount of time and then make up the moves within that music is an awesome part of it. And that's really all it takes.
Well, and I think that probably because of your background that you're good at that, but I would say that the music portion of it and having the workouts match the beat and getting that energy level high, it's a skill. I remember when I was a kid, my mom would play for me her workout tapes that she was going to do for her aerobics, and she would like practice her aerobic routine, and the more the beat comes in, the more excited you are and the more you want to work out. Like the music is 100% what makes it. My run list, I have an insane run list because I love to run. And there's songs if I'm like kind of feeling lazy, I don't want to do full speed, or songs if I'm like ready to hit it. Like I know exactly what I need to do. Right. So, or if I've gone really, really, like I've really run fast and I'm, exhausted, I'll play one of the slower songs to kind of slow me down, but I'm still running. I mean, music is 100%, I think, the workout. I really do. It makes a huge difference.
It was so much fun. I think as with anything, there's always room for improvement. So Mary attended, obviously, the class from yesterday. And so did Carly, by the way. Our friend.
I love Carl. I love her.
I'll tell her you said, hey, she does listen to the podcast. So big shout out to Carly. She's one of the most.
I love the crap out of her. We'll keep it G-rated.
Eat that, Tiny. No, she's one of the most amazing people that I know.
I love her.
But anyway, they were right front and center. So Carly took my seat that I had used, and she's right next to Mary. They're right in the front row. It was a class of 7 people, I believe, which I think the max we can have in there is about 10 to 15. But the one area that I would say for me to work on, and I know this is not making for much of an entertaining podcast unless you want to come and join me when I do this,
I do.
You totally should. But anyway,
I was gonna.
yeah, you can
Go on.
absolutely. But it was the biggest room for improvement for me. I think is I was very much so concerned about following the formula.
Mm-hmm.
And the other instructors have been doing this for so long that they
Mm-hmm.
just the writing is secondary to them. The primary is the engagement.
Absolutely.
It would be the equivalent of you and I on radio. You know, our engagement on radio is fine. The music is secondary in the grand scheme when we're on the air.
Right.
So
Got it.
I know how to do that. It's just feeling okay to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
that'll come. But as far as people had compliments. I wanted them to be totally honest. Even Mary, I said, please be brutally honest. And she thought it was very good. You know, worked up a great sweat, good heart rate, good calorie burn. So all in all, very blessed, very happy, very thankful.
What time was the class?
That starts at 5:30. That one did. So now, aside from that, now listen to this. So this is the add-on, and this is where the invitation comes in to anybody who's listening, really, who can do this. I filled in on Monday. I'll fill in again a couple times in June on Thursday nights. But then starting in June on Tuesday mornings, I'll have my own class at 6 a.m.
Wow.
So
That's awesome, Tiny. I'm really proud of
Thank
you.
you.
That's really incredible.
thank you. And I said,
incredible.
It's so great because I literally just want to get my workout in. And
Of course.
people are going to be able to come and do a 6 a.m. Spin class with me. So super looking
Yeah.
forward to it. Big shout out to WBO Health and Fitness. Dylan is an amazing, amazing business owner. And if you're looking for, go there and try them out because it's an awesome atmosphere. Just as Katie is down at Shenandoah Fit with her gym, and I still go to Strength Camp in Hagerstown. Still love them. We should be sponsored by every single gym.
Yeah.
in the
Shout
area.
out Sean Ryder, the owner of Shenandoah Fit. We'd love it if you could just give us a sponsorship.
Yeah. I mean, same thing to Andre and Rod, Strength Camp, and Dylan, of course, at WBO. Get some sponsorship money here. Tell you what, your logo could be right over Katie's face.
This could be, I'm pointing to literally a green screen
Yeah, I know.
right now. This could be your logo right here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this green screen.
Look at this logo. We need help. Look at this thing. No, I take that back. Amanda did a great job.
No,
with that logo.
it's amazing. But I think that's really cool, Tony. I think that's, you stepped outside of your comfort zone. You did something totally different. And I think that's cool. I feel like every week we talk, you and I, between the two of us, we're doing something that is just unique, different, stepping out, trying something new. And I think that's what life is all about. So
I
congratulations.
just
That's
think,
great.
just to put a big bow on it, is I'm insanely amazed how quickly it came together. I
Yeah.
mean, talk about trial by fire. So, hey, guess what? I got my certification and I'm insured. Oh, great. In 4 days, teach. Huh.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's the best way to
Yeah.
do it. I mean, just get thrown in there
Get it
and
done.
sink or swim time. Here we go.
Yep. I was sweating my rear
And you know
end.
what? You were here for
I was
it.
here for it. No, actually,
You were here for
I was
it.
there for it.
You were there.
I wasn't here for it. I was there for it.
You were there for it, right?
All right. So coming up in just a couple minutes, Katie, I want to ask you a question regarding weddings. You and I years ago talked about this, but now that weddings were seemingly put on pause, obviously because of COVID, not seemingly, they were
COVID.
put on pause. And now they're back, and there's something that's coming to the forefront now on Reddit, and it's all over Facebook and trending on Twitter. I have a strong opinion on this, a great story about the cost of weddings from one particular standpoint, and we'll talk about that in just a couple seconds on the Tiny and Katie Show. You don't want your hair just cut or styled. Get your hair designed at Roots Hair Design, 5459 Molly Pitcher Highway in Chambersburg, 717-375-2130. How about a women's cut, $32, $35, or $38? Guys, you're not going to get a better price on the cut you're going to receive at Roots Hair Design than $23. Now, if you have a teenager, they're getting ready for those summer pictures, prom season's coming up, girl or boy, $25 and $20 respectively. A kid's cut, just $18. Maybe you need your roots touched up, they have that as well. And they can do your nails, take care of your lashes, facial treatments, waxings, and what I plan to get is a massage. Roots Hair Design, 5459 Molly Pitcher Highway in Chambersburg. $10 off your first service to any new guests, and they're approaching their 12th year in business. You don't last that long if you're not doing something, or in their case, a lot of things right. Roots Hair Design, we can't thank them enough for being part of the Tiny and Katie Show.
More of the Tiny and Katie Show starts now.
Welcome back to the Tiny and Katie Show. Tiny, question about weddings. So weddings were put on pause because of COVID.
Yep.
What is going on that you need to ask me about?
Well, I want to ask you and I want to ask everyone else, and this especially is geared at people who have been a member of the bridal party, a new survey has found 62% of people say bridal party costs are out of control. Just over half of bridal party members say they felt pressure to spend more than they could afford, particularly on the bachelor and bachelorette parties. Now, Katie has, I'm going to get mine out of the way because Katie has far more experience with this than I do. I have been in 3, maybe 4 weddings tops.
Have you been in that many?
One.
You've been in that many weddings, not attended,
right.
been in.
At least 3. No, 4. No, it is 4.
Wow.
Yeah, it is 4.
You can't include your own. You can't include your own right now.
I'm not, but I should be able to. Okay. Here's the most glaring story for me, and the one that I would tell when people talk about these things being so expensive. Years ago, I was probably 18, I believe. My cousin got married, and she asked me to be one of the groomsmen for her soon-to-be husband. And I was honored. So certainly, we were always very close as kids, happy to do it. She said, okay, I'll send you the information. And I don't remember how we got it, probably just called me, but said all the guys are getting fitted for tuxes here. So I go there and I get fitted. Everything seems fine. I go to leave. And the woman said, well, we'll have it, ready for you in whatever the time was. And as I'm getting ready to leave, she said, now mind you, my mother's with me at the time because I had no idea what I was doing. And she goes, how would you like to pay for that? And as if no time had lapsed, I looked her in the eye and said, I wouldn't. And she goes,
did you think somebody was going to pay for it for you?
Yes. And
okay.
The reason I thought that was because, you asked me to be in your wedding. So why wouldn't you just pay for that? I didn't think that it should be on me. Now I came to understand that is what you do.
Right.
But I still really don't understand it. And I told Mary that, when we got married, if anybody has any cost incurred with their outfits, we'll pay for them. There's not, now granted, we only had you and Mary's brother, but the point is that.
I'm sorry, you never paid me for my bridesmaid's dress.
Do you know how much crap you haven't paid me for? Let me guess.
Can I please
I'll tell
get
you
that?
what. I'll tell you what. That microphone you're talking into, have you paid for that yet? That green screen behind you, have you paid for that yet?
First of all, if you're going to make a statement as bold as what you just said, saying, well, listen, if somebody's in my wedding, I'm going to pay for their stuff. Like, you did not pay for my bridesmaid's dress, nor do I think you paid for my hotel. So I did shell out a little bit of money, and I'm happy to do so.
Did you not
I was your
enjoy the
best man. I'm not
cupcakes?
complaining about it. I enjoyed everything about the
really
wedding,
good.
obviously.
Except for them damn people walking in my pictures.
Well, and you know what, Tiny? You know what story we have to tell when we're done with this? When I gave my best
Yes.
man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll do that. So
okay.
But anyway,
let me chime in.
Yes, please chime in because you've been asked to be a bridesmaid more. I mean, it seemed like when we were back doing the show and your friends were getting married, one after the other. I mean, you were asked to be in 8 weddings. I mean,
yes.
And I had to go to fittings for all these things.
Tiny helped me pick out my naughty bachelorette outfits, and he was always remember when we went and you bought me those really nice shoes for the wedding, and Tiny was like,
yeah, I guess
I'm
shocked.
No, do you remember? Yeah, you were like my wingman, but
I was your sugar buddy.
You were my sugar buddy, because you paid for them and said.
Katie made the comment one time. She goes, Tiny, you know what? You're like my gay straight friend.
Absolutely.
And it's true.
Absolutely. Because I would say, Tiny, hey, I have to go pick out this dress. Will you come with me? Tiny, I have to get these shoes. Will you go with me? And then Tiny was like, well, I mean, what the hell else am I going to do? Sure.
Like she'd come out and like, Tiny, how does this look? Now, mind you, she is asking a 350-pound bald guy wearing a hoodie with track pants if something looks good.
But you know what? You were honest with me.
Well, I was
you
honest.
Tell me if I look bad inside. You were 100% honest with me. I remember specifically being in Express, and I walked out in a dress, and I thought I looked like a smoke bomb. And I was like, Tiny, what do you think about this? And you were like, it doesn't make you look thin. You look big in that dress. I mean, you were very, and here, Tiny is this very big guy telling me, but I appreciate that. I want somebody to tell me how I look. But okay, so yes, I've been a bridesmaid multiple times, and I'm happy to do it. But here's the thing: maybe it's different with women than men. When you accept the position of a bridesmaid. You are accepting a financial burden. I mean, you are. So some people might say, I'm sorry, I can't be a bridesmaid. I cannot afford it, because you are looking at hundreds, if not maybe $1,000 for the dress, the hotel, the bachelorette party, the bridal shower, the gifts for this, the gift for that. Like, it is incredibly expensive. It is. And when when people are in their 20s and getting married, most people are not as financially secure as they are when they're in their 30s or their 40s, which is why I'm super smart and I'm waiting until I get married till I'm in my 40s. So that way everybody's making bank and they can get me tons of gifts with a lot of money.
I hope I'm pointing the right way, but I want to be pointing at Katie when I say this. Like, this Sweeney over here, okay? I mean, she is just had it all figured out. It's all figured out. That's what we get. That's what we get from this Sweeney, okay? This one right here.
I've been knocking down marriage proposals left and right because I'm like, let me wait till I'm in my 40s, so that way everybody's financially stable and I get like a ton of really expensive gifts.
What is your 20-year financial plan? Yeah. Excuse me. You want to propose? Please fill out this questionnaire.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. So, I mean, I remember being in weddings in my early 20s and very stressed about how I remember being at, oh my gosh, Shiny. I remember I was at a bachelorette party in New Orleans. I had zero money to my, I was working in radio at the time. I did not have a lot of money to my name at the time. And when we went to the bachelorette party, I literally went and bought alcohol for the room. And I would take the alcohol out with me because I couldn't afford drinks. I couldn't afford anything. I had food in the room that I would go home and I'd say, oh, guys, no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to eat dinner at this fancy restaurant because, I'm just really not that hungry. And I'd go home and like chow down on like chips and salsa.
Just give me like before she goes, Tiny, how do you think I can just get away with not paying anything? I'm like, well, I just take cheese and crackers.
I want to be there for that person. But if you are taking on a financial burden when you say that you're going to do it. So you just either have to like try to make it work or just say no to it. But yeah, it is expensive. It's incredibly expensive. I'm here for it.
So listen to this. You brought up about amounts. So the survey says that on average, bridal party members spend around $825 on a combined attire, pre-wedding events, and the wedding itself. I mean,
attire. Oh
my God. Oh my God.
I'm like, I know I've never been married, but I know I've never put anybody attire to a wedding.
Oh dear Jesus. Now look, y'all, I want you to come to the wedding, but don't bring attire. Okay? I know that that's a trend now, but if you show up with attire, the rubber's going to hit the road. And there's going to be hell to pay. It will not be a good year. Oh my God. And the funny thing is when I said it, now mind you, I took the screen that we're on away. I couldn't see Katie. I'm reading it. And when I get to where it says attire, I kept going. And in the back of my mind, I was like, she's going to think I meant attire.
I know I've been out of the game for a while, but I was never like, happy marriage. Here's a year worth of supplies for your vehicle, everybody, for your tires.
Lean over to Tiny at the wedding. Tiny, I cannot believe no one got you a tire. This is BS.
How selfish is everybody these days?
Can I have everyone's attention, please? Did no one think to bring this young boy a tire? He's getting married to the love of his life, and he doesn't have a tire. What will his family think?
Okay. So you mean like what you're wearing attire? Yeah. I got it now. I'm with it. I'm here for it.
I don't even know where to go. I mean, typically the only tire Katie takes to a wedding is the spare one.
It's a spare one around my waist. Yes, I knew that was coming.
Okay.
I knew that was coming.
So let's wrap this up. Oh my gosh. We have a...
Wait, no. I really... Okay, go ahead. I really want you to tell the story about when I gave your best man speech, though, because that is really funny.
So traditionally, as you know, the best man and the bridesmaid or maid of honor will give the speech at the weddings, and they each give one. So obviously, Katie was my... what we call you, groomswoman, best woman?
No, I was the best man. I was the best man at Tiny's wedding. That's what I was.
So she goes...
All right, let me take it from here. Okay. So listen, now mind you, I have I don't write down speeches because I feel like I'm pretty good at this type of thing. Like I'm good at like memorizing and speaking and just kind of delivering. It's
Attire.
kind of
No confusion. You're never confused.
Not at all. Not at all. So I planned this speech for Tiny and Mary, and I was getting ready to deliver it. And the whole speech revolved around lightning striking, because when Tiny and I first started working in radio, we always said that it was like lightning striking. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's just like crazy. So when Tiny and I met each other and we started working in radio and we found this chemistry that we naturally had, we would always say it was like lightning striking, lightning striking. Well, when Tiny met Mary, it was lightning striking because they were 100% meant for each other. I couldn't have handpicked another woman for Tiny. Like it was just meant to be. So I had this really beautiful speech about lightning striking was the theme. Now, as I'm getting ready to deliver my speech, there is a band playing next door at a bar, not associated with the wedding. And I'm like, is that band going to shut up so I can give my speech right now? Because you can't when you give a speech like that, everybody's got to be listening.
Right. You don't want Margaritaville playing in the background.
Right. You don't want to be screaming over
Right.
like music. You want it, but I had no choice because that band was like not stopping. Right. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to have to combat this band. So, I have this beautiful speech prepared and like, yeah, they're jamming over there. And I stand up and I'm like, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say that Tiny and Mary is like lightning striking. Lightning striking.
From the first time I saw them together, I
just knew it was meant to be.
I love them. Thank you for being here. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord, and don't forget to take your tires with you. Thank you. Cheers.
I give this speech and I'm like screaming my maid of honor speech, and everybody's like, okay. No tears, 0 tears. I mean, it was a beautiful speech. I should deliver it again sometime.
I 100% no kidding mean that. Yes.
Thank you. So then Tiny decides that he wants to give a speech just thanking everybody for being there. Take over.
So I didn't.
As you're doing that, I'm finding a photo of the reaction after that happened.
I didn't. I'll put it up. I'll pop it up there for everybody to see.
Okay.
I didn't know that this was the case. A matter of fact, Katie, until like a few weeks ago, Mary and I were talking about this very thing. And she said that she had asked me to say a few words because Billy, her brother, is very shy and didn't necessarily want to stand up and give a speech like you did. So I thought, well, I mean, I just stood up here and did the I do's. So I don't really, I think I've said all I need to say as far as that goes. But I do want to speak from the heart and just let everybody know that because we got married in Ocean City, and I realized that was
and people traveled.
Absolutely, I wanted to acknowledge that. So I'm sitting there and just as a continuation off of Katie, she sits down. We hug each other.
No, I mean, I'm like screaming over the audience,
and mind
then
you,
I sit down.
So she said that no one was crying. She was.
I was, of course I was.
You got to understand that. So she was emotional. And there were a few people, Mama Michaels, she was, beside herself the whole time. But anyway, and Graham leaned over to her and was like, oh, I wish I could hear what she was saying.
I'm sure it was beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure it was great. Is she talking to us? But so anyway.
Is she giving the blessing right now for the food?
Yeah.
Like, what is she doing?
She does know we already ate, right? Okay. Is she up there trying to explain this tire? Is that what this is? So anyway, so here's the thing. So I'm sitting there. I say, we love all of you. The people who are invited here are those who mean the most to us. Thank you so much. We could not imagine doing this day without you. Blah, blah, blah. So at that point now, there ain't a dry eye in the house. Because I think at that point, the band had definitely like lowered, right?
They took a break. Right. And at that point, Tiny is sitting in his chair.
Yeah,
and he's like, hey, everybody, just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Like, it means so much to me and Mary. Like, we love you all so much. And everybody starts crying.
It was like Elton John's farewell tour.
You son of a bitch. I got up there and screamed that speech. Take it, Tiny.
Now, mind you,
take it, Tiny.
So Katie then leans over to me and she goes, This is just after I had finished. I totally wrapped. She leans over to me and goes, "You mean to tell me that I could have given my speech sitting down?" Now, when I tell you
We were all laughing.
that I died.
I mean, well, here.
So yeah, we're popping up a picture here. I was dying.
We were crying,
So
laughing.
the picture
I am
that you're seeing-
screaming.
The picture
Yes.
you're seeing is after, because what happened was I start just dying. No one heard what you said to me except for me. I'm losing it. Katie and Billy, her brother, are wondering what in the world's going on. I finally composed myself enough, and I'm still going. I could have still been bellowing for 2 minutes. I lean over to Mary and tell her what you said. Her brother hears it. Well, they start just losing it, laughing. We're all laughing.
Done.
You're laughing. That's when the picture that you're seeing was snapped. We were done. And then everyone else in the audience, now all of a sudden, everybody's paying attention. Like, what's going on here?
2 seconds prior, I'm screaming these heartfelt emotions, and Tiny just sits back, kicks up his legs, and he's like, "Hey guys, I just want to let you know." And everybody starts crying a tiny stupid speech.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to kill you. Like, I'm going to kill you. This is, of course, how this would happen. I got some mariachi band. Going over my maid of honor speech. And you're just like, "Hey guys, thanks for coming." I was like, "Oh, Tiny and his words.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so great."
You couldn't just let me have it, could you?
You couldn't just let me have it, could you?
This weenie over here just could not let me have it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So that was a good time. But anyway, so, join us next week for the Tiny and Katie Show. I feel like this is a good time to wrap this baby up.
Good time as any. I'm Tiny.
I'm Katie.
We'll talk to
see you next week.
in a week.
Bye.